I love social media. It's essentially one of the best things that has happened to me. Before social media, I was a full-time accountant and I was constantly being told to tone down my personality. I just felt like so invisible, and social media changed that for me. I remember that I was like, wouldn't it just be silly if I just created an account just for fun, like a meme account? I created Daddy Issues, the Instagram account, which was anonymous, but it was my alter ego. This girl was so cool. Everyone loved her. All the boys liked her. Social media has given me opportunities that I wouldn't have otherwise. I was able to quit my job, and then the second year after quitting my job, I made 3 times that. Thanks to social media, I was able to buy a home. Hi guys, welcome to my beautiful home. This is my beautiful office. This is my kitchen where I don't know how to cook. I have around 5 Instagrams right now. All of them have a ton of followers. I also have TikTok, I have Twitter, I have Facebook, and I have Snapchat. It's a full-time job. I have close to 5 million followers. It lifted me up. Obviously now I'm no longer anonymous. I don't believe that social media is toxic. If you don't feel good, then you have a choice to turn off your phone and put it away.
Well, Violet, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you for being here. I also want to welcome tech expert Shelly, who's joining us virtually. Shelly, thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
Listen, you guys see this very differently, and so we can talk about those differences. Violet, you said that in your real life, you got bullied and picked on a lot. What about?
Well, when I was younger, I was being bullied I was born with a birth defect where I had no enamel on my teeth, so I've had veneers since I was 5. So growing up, I was always bullied about my looks. At one point, if people tell you, you're disgusting, you start to believe it. Like for me, social media really saved me from where I was. I was crying every single day in my car. Before I would walk into work, I would cry myself to sleep because I was so depressed. My goal was to be a partner in my public accounting firm. I knew it wasn't going to happen, and for me, I didn't have social media before. So when I created it specifically for that, it was my escape. And then I got to connect with people all over the world where people could actually relate to me, and I was like, wow, I'm not alone. And it was like one of the first times in my whole life where I felt like I fit in, where I felt like people understood me, and it was all thanks to social media.
So, Shelly, what do you think about what she's saying? I mean, to her, she's saying this was therapeutic. It was an outlet. It was cathartic for her.
It's a business, Dr. Phil. It's a business.
Right.
And it's a pure business. And so she goes to work with a persona, like so many of us do. When I present during my business day, I present as either the professor of advanced media at Newhouse School, or I present as the CEO of the Palmer Group. And I act accordingly. When I was president of the Emmy Awards, I presented as the president of the Emmy Awards, not as Shelley Palmer, the father and grandfather. We have personas. She goes to work with a persona. It's totally fine. But there was one thing that was said that I'd like to take a little issue with. If you don't like it, you can just turn it off. Well, maybe, but maybe not.
But isn't that true in the real world as well?
No, it isn't actually, because the algorithms are tuned to keep you engaged no matter what. And you can tell me the following. When I see a donut, and especially if you look like me, you love donuts, I love donuts, I can have the discipline not to eat the donut, but I can't have the discipline not to feel like I want the donut, because the dopamine is released and I'm all excited about the donut. And so that's what happens here. I'm on social media scrolling, and I am becoming more and more addicted because the algorithm is tuned more and more to what it is I care about. So while you may have the discipline to turn it off, it's very, very hard to do so. I applaud what she's done with Daddy Issues. I think it's fantastic, but it's not the average person's experience on social media.
Right,
It truly
but
isn't.
when you were speaking, you said you were using words, or I could do this, or I may do this, which means when you were using those words that you had a choice each single time.
I'm simply saying you can have the discipline to make a choice, but you cannot force yourself not to feel what it is you feel. And when dopamine is released at this level,
Right.
you don't have the ability not to feel. You may have the ability and the discipline to choose.
Research shows that you need 7 days to change a bad habit into a good one. So it's the same
We're
thing.
not talking about
I know, but
habits
social
here.
media
This
is
isn't
kind of the
habit
same
forming.
thing. If you know
No, it
something's
is not.
affecting
It's
you
not.
badly.
No, it's not. You don't know. That's the whole point. It feels great, so it doesn't feel bad in any way. It blankets us in the comfort of the information that makes us feel awesome, and we feel great about it. And we don't know whether the information we're seeing is real or fake. The world is real or fantasy. We don't know if the information is true or false or harmful or not. And so, yes, you can build a habit in 7 days for sure. I agree with you completely, fully agree with you.
Yeah.
But I don't agree that this is a choice that people make. It's a discipline they'd have to have. And some people are healthy enough and savvy enough to make that choice. You clearly are, but not everybody.
Without a doubt, social media has changed my life. I'm able to be on my phone at home, scrolling through the feed, and I'd say, oh my God, look at this before and after picture. Like literally like ordering from a McDonald's menu. You're able to pick what services you want to try out. There's Botox, there's filler, there's cheek lift, there's thread lift, there's breast lift. It's never ending. I had a huge bump on my nose. It made me very insecure, and I had seen that you can get your nose fixed with filler. I immediately booked an appointment. My lips were a huge insecurity for me as well. As soon as I got that one syringe in my lips, it changed my life. It gave me confidence. I felt like people weren't just focusing on that bump and those little paper-thin lips of mine. I was so floored by the amazing transformation that I decided to create my own beauty bar, and I'm a college dropout.
I have had chin filler, Botox in my forehead. I have had cheek filler, shots here to contour my face. I've had the slimming shots to contour here and to melt the fat. There's no shame in my game.
The most requested look for the fox eyes is the Bella Hadid fox eye thread lift. I tried it myself, and I'm close to 40. Social media has completely normalized all these treatments. Back in my day, when people were getting Botox, they were very like hush-hush about it. I thought it was taboo, and that's why I love social media. I tell everyone that beauty starts from within. But if something bothers you, fix it. I did. It made me happier.
Now, Fatima, your point is, if there's something about yourself you don't like, and it's fixable, it's changeable, and you have the means to do it, then why not do it?
Yeah, of course. Why not? If it makes you happy.
Is there anything that you wouldn't do?
Surgery-wise?
Yeah, to make a change.
I mean, I feel like I pretty much did a lot. I've enhanced a whole bunch of things, and I don't think that there's anything that I really wouldn't do unless it's safe. Like, I wouldn't break a bone to enhance something.
You made a point that there was a time when people would be secretive about that, like sneak around to get Botox or something. But you're saying, what's the point? Why would you hide it?
I feel like a long time ago, it was such a taboo to have all these things done. And of course, everyone in Hollywood does it. Everyone in the TV and the movies, they do it, but they're hush-hush about it. Yeah. So I had super paper thin lips when I was younger. And the first time I've ever received fillers was when I was 20, 21. I had my lips done. I was made fun of for having paper thin lips, and even though I was a beautiful girl, I just didn't want people to constantly point out my flaw. As soon as I did it, it made me immediately feel better, and I felt more secure.
Well, the current social media beauty trends are fox eye, the Kardashian look, Russian lips, jawline, cheek and chin filler, facial contouring, nose jobs, lasers, things along those lines. And how do you feel about women that are driven to do those things?
I don't shame or blame anybody for what they do in the name of beauty, in the name of just feeling like themselves. But what I do know is that we all grow up and grow older in a world that convinces us that we are parts in need of fixing. We grow up believing that we are bodies first and people second, and that in order to not be bullied, in order to feel okay, in order to be successful, to connect with other people, we must look at our body as a compilation of parts in need of fixing. And we're here to tell the world that there is another way. And while I would never shame or blame you, I also want you, and I would want anybody else that is considering needing to get stuff done just to feel like themselves, to know that you can be whole in your body as it is. Because Lindsay and I believe that we are diagnosing the wrong problem. We believe that women don't feel beautiful enough, and so we try to feel more beautiful. We try to fix ourselves to feel more beautiful. When Lindsay and I believe the real problem, the root of the problem, is that we are defined by beauty. It's not that we're not beautiful enough. It's that we are so defined by it that we become truly confined by that beauty.
Yeah, Dr. Lindsay, let me ask you this. I think I've often said that psychologically, body image and self-image tend to vary together. They should not. Yes. You're not a better person if you weigh less, or a worse person if you weigh more. But for some reason, we know historically, empirically, that body image and self-image vary together, although it shouldn't. And you think that's part of the problem with women being defined in the wrong with the wrong yardstick.
It absolutely is. In our research, we found that when people described their bodies, they overwhelmingly described how they looked, not how they felt, what they could do, what they had experienced, and this is women primarily. When women are defined by their bodies, then their whole self-worth becomes overtaken by whether or not they feel beautiful.
I saw a study one time that said 70-something% of men would rather have a body part amputated than be bald.
Oh, wow.
So it's appearance for them too, Shelley, right?
Not long ago, I contacted a girl on social media. When I saw her online, she looked like everything I usually like. We had chemistry from the very beginning. We talked to each other for about 2 weeks before we got a chance to see each other in person. I booked her a $400 round trip to come see me in Miami. Once I saw her, I could just kind of tell that it just wasn't the same. I gave her a hug, I embraced her. I just realized, like, man, I've been duped. She looked so different.
The way your Instagram looks and the way you look in real life is not the same thing.
She definitely wasn't the girl that I expected. I just told her, you don't look like your Instagram. I recorded what happened, it went viral.
The way you look in real life is not the same thing. It's not even a debate. It really is not the same thing at all.
I never said the girl was ugly. I just told her that I was deceived.
You're not ugly. You don't look like your gram. You don't.
I definitely feel like she catfished me. Social media is toxic and it causes a lot of comparison. It's definitely hard for men as far as it comes to like Photoshop. We don't really see the little blemishes or whatever might be there. Now, like when I get on FaceTime with a woman, so I'm gonna let me get a little spin so I can see what's going on. A woman's value isn't just how she looks, but our society is putting a pressure on them to use filters. If you don't have the right mental strength, it could be a detriment to you. I wish that women would use the platform to be more honest.
You said you had talked to her for a couple of weeks?
Yeah, I would say about 2 weeks.
And y'all got along really well?
Yeah, the conversation was great. I feel like we had chemistry. It was good.
But the conversation, the personality mix, the chemistry, that all kind of dried up. What happened to the conversation and chemistry and all when she showed up?
I mean, those factors kind of diminished when I saw that she didn't look like the woman I was pursuing online.
Yeah, did some people think you were being shallow?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of people thought I was being shallow about it, you know, but everyone is entitled to their own standard.
You should have known better. You should have FaceTimed her. You should have FaceTimed her and made sure to see the real her.
Did you FaceTime with her?
Yeah, I FaceTime her, but I'm not the type of guy that's gonna get on FaceTime, and I'm not really gonna be asking girls to show me their body and stuff like that. That's not really my style.
It's your style to videotape it though, secretly, and then make it go viral. That's your style, but it's not your style to ask her to show you her body before she flies to Miami.
I actually videotaped the young lady because in my apartment, when I started to tell her that she didn't look the same, she started raising her voice and yelling at me. So I felt like I had to defend myself. I started recording her. That's why you don't see her face or anything.
If you're in this dating game, and
she is.
And I haven't been on a date with anybody other than Robin in almost 50 years. If you know that's the game, why would someone, guy or girl, send image A and then show up as B? You know that it's going to hit the wall.
That's your way in. You're looking for attention. You're looking for people that you have mutual attraction with. You look like you'd have things in common. When we're filtering ourselves, we know that men are looking at the surface. Women are also looking at the surface. But for men, these ideals of what women should look like in order to qualify, to be loved, to be sexy enough, usually look just like those mediated cultural ideals we've all been having our whole lives. So they often think that these are real ideals, that women really look like that. And so women manipulate their images to be able to get their foot in the door.
What all that time on social media is doing to our teenagers.
Botox, eye transformations, how is social media affecting our beauty standards?
All four of us are sitting here making money off of people's insecurities.
All new Dr. Phil. Check your local listings.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.